Hey, everybody. I just realized that the conference that we had a few weeks back about the final project was not recorded and found out that some of the system was not backed up at the time because it was a little bit overloaded when we started getting everybody online. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to post this video about your final project so that you feel comfortable about that for those who weren't able to make the meeting. What you're seeing right now is a view of your student view. If you go into a computer screen, not on your phone, but on your phone you can get to it. Most of these are on the side on your phone. What I want to talk to you about is the expectations for the final project, and then to show you where to look at some of the examples. So when you go into your modules, there's two ways you can get to the final project. First, go to your modules, head all the way down to the last week that we're in, and see final presentation and paper. Final presentation and paper is the actual assignment. You're going to have a peer review also set up for 20 points of the assignment, and this entire project is worth, I believe, 20% of your grade, and that includes the peer review. So you want to make sure when I assign those peer reviews that you go ahead and do them. And then there's an overflow repository because a lot of times when people are turning in to this assignment, which will have all kinds of ways to upload, when you turn into that, it will sometimes get bogged down if a lot of people are trying at the same time. You've probably run into that already on Canvas. So I've created a separate space that makes it a little easier. If, for example, your voiceover presentation is uploaded here, but for some reason the paper won't go in, then you can put the repository in there and I'll find it. So let's go into the final project. The final project itself is worth 150 points. It'll be due Tuesday, the 28th of April at 11:59. 100 points of the project is the voiceover presentation, video upload, and then the 50 points is the paper that goes along with it. First, I want you to pick a topic that goes along with intimate relationships. Here's a list of some of the things, plus you can choose others based on what your curiosity might have, brought up to your mind throughout this semester. And you can check with me if you need to. You can text me and say, is this okay for an area or a subject? And I'm happy to help you figure that out. You're going to create a presentation with the background research topic using resources from class, but also 2 outside resources that need to be peer reviewed. And what that means is it needs to be a little bit more of a source that's like journals or things like that. You can go here if you want to know what peer reviewed means. This will tell you what a good source is. And I gave you that link so that you can double check your sources, that it's scholarly, different from a popular or a trade source. So I'm looking for the scholarly types. That's my best level for doing that. So let's go back here, you look more at that. Then design a narrated PowerPoint no longer than 10 minutes. You can use Keynote, Slideshow, Prezi, whatever you have at your fingertips to make a presentation. I'm cool with that. But the equivalent is that it needs to be about 8 to 12 slides or transitions in your presentation in that 10-minute time. Now, if it's 7 minutes, that's fine. 7 to 10 is usually about right. 4 to 6, not so much. And definitely anything under 4 feels too small. So that gives you an idea of the timeline. Whenever you're doing your presentation, at the end of the presentation, I want you to be able to cite your resources. Also in your paper, you can use APA. You can also use MLA. I'm fine with that too. And the presentation must be produced and submitted to the course site so that I can see it, and then also assign peer reviews from your peers. This is the introduction, the way I'd like the script for the presentation to be. Basically an introduction. Why did you pick the subject? What are your goals for the presentation? How does your subject relate to the subject of intimate relationships? And what recent views on the subject are out there? Meaning, what's the current research? Why should we be interested in it? This is a great place to invite us to think about the questions about this particular area. For example, if you're talking about Myers-Briggs and why is it important for us to know Myers-Briggs? It was fun to do in class, but how could that be something that is applied to other areas? What did you learn? Talk to us about the statistics, the theories, the narratives about your subject. What did the experts say? And whose work is interesting and why? And then finally, a conclusion. Then I also want a paper to come along with this and be uploaded. Let me tell you 2 reasons for this. One, I'm able to clearly see your presentation and the statistics and things put into a writing format. And for a general education class, I have to have some form of written assignment. And this is one of the best ways I can look at that, even though I've seen discussion boards to actually check grammar, check all of the ways in which doing a project paper can be officially evaluated. This is the way I do that. So you're going to do an introduction. You're going to do what you learned. You're going to explain the presentation. So that's a little different, is to tell us basically about the subject, what you learned about the subject, and then give us an idea of why you presented the presentation in the way you did, and then a conclusion. Now, let's say you've never done any of these types of presentations before. You can follow these links. So you can follow any one of those, and there are others that are listed here, how to do Prezi, voiceover, and those types of things. At the end, I have how to do your peer reviews, and these are the questions that I would have you answer in your peer reviews. What did you learn from your peer's presentation? What were the highlights? What are some of the possible growing areas of improvement? How do you think your peer did in completing this assignment? And a word of encouragement. When looking at the way I'm going to grade this, you can see here the project research is 60 points. Did the student pick the subject relevant to intimate relationships? Did they research it well? Give good insight to the class curriculum? Did the student create a cohesive presentation that engaged their peers? Then another 40 points. Was the student's presentation well thought out? Did it engage the eye? Did it make sense? Was the information cited correctly? Did the student show an effective effort in producing a final presentation, graphics, art, knowledge? So it's kind of giving us the overview. And then the paper is 50, basically answering those questions that I asked you ahead of time. And these go towards your general education pieces. Now let's go look. This is in assignments, obviously, and we got there from modules. If you want to see a couple examples, I want you to go into your files. Look down here for example PowerPoints. Here's a final project PowerPoint that I had permission. You can download this PowerPoint and it will go ahead and have the voiceover. So this person did extended family. They did a very nice presentation explaining everything. I want statistics, different things about the extended family, benefits of an extended family, pictures, conclusion, wonderful citations. So that gives you a good example. And I've got a couple in here for that. So you can download that. Please do not copy, but allow yourself to see it. And this is a second one that was called Raising Healthy Kids. Ask these folks if I could share these. Talking more about some of the basic things. Socialization, something we talked about in class. But they also went into a further discussion about what they've learned by researching it. So, and I can get that to go down, but there are citations down there too. So just wanting to make sure you knew that there's a couple there. Here's a couple PowerPoints as well. Just basic PowerPoints without the stuff. This is okay. You know, I thought this was a really good one when they presented it. They didn't add any pictures to it, but they did have some design to it, so that's okay. This one, just going to go through them all with you a little bit. Talked more about music, and this had a lot more pictures in it. This one had a lot more, and these were, by the way, done in class face to face. So this is what it would have looked like a little bit more without the voiceover. And finally, sorry, keep running those around. There's one on childbirth. So those should give you some good ideas on this. I hope that that helps you. If you have any questions, of course, you can text me at 913-553-0267, or again, email me at jtodd@emporia.edu. I hope that helps with the questions, and I look forward to your presentations. Have a good week.